Well, it's been about, actually it's been about 2 weeks since I've been able to work on this car. I've been pretty busy doing other shit. So I'm going to explain to you how to put this spindle into this car. Oh, hey, don't you run, you're too old! She's way too old for that. So what we have here, it's still quite hot, is a 1/2 inch nut that I drill out with my step pick, and this becomes the new bottom ball joint holder. So we're also going to put a little bit of a washer on top of that. But that's pretty much how this thing's going to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the spindle and put it in and bolt it in. Hopefully I didn't need that. Bolt that spindle into here. Put the axle in, put everything in, and then come up underneath. We are going to go get a mini grinder, and we are going to cut the old tie rod out of it because of how beat up it is, and then we're going to get ready to install this thing into this car. We did go buy some new nuts for the bottom. They're not really hardened, and the threads seem to be ripping out of them, so what I'm going to do is once they're in, I'm going to weld these nuts on there. And then to get them off, I'll just cut them off. I'll buy new ball joints next time if this turns out to be a successful swap. Who knows, maybe I'll take the whole control arms off and just swap control arms every time. I don't know. So let's get going. Man, W-body spindles are heavy. So we got it in there. Now what we got to do is we got to put all the bottom ball joint together, and we got to put the axle in and then get it so it's sitting in there. So that's the next step. Just give me a couple minutes here. This is just heavy and awkward by myself. Let's get going. So now we got the axle in there. We got the bottom ball joint in place. Now all we have to do is basically tighten that up, put a washer, and stop that from being ripped out. So let's go do that. So the next thing we're going to do is the brakes. We're going to take off the brake line, which is an 11 mil, and then we're going to take this one off and swap it to here. Try to do it as quickly as possible so we don't lose as very much fluid. But we got the bottom nut on there with a giant washer. I think it's looking pretty good. And then we will move on to the next step. But let's see this. Got to be quick here, boys and girls. So this one here, you can be a little bit slow on. You want to save the copper washers. So, my knee in your way. Okay, this is the one you got to be quick on. Okay, drop the copper washer. Being nice and quick. Now I got dirt all in that copper washer. Perfect. Getting brake fluid all over my gun. You just put it in there. There, brake lines are done. Next step. So here's the next problem. These are your factory G-body G6 tie rods, and they don't go all down all the way, so you can't put a nut on it. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna take this fancy old step bit and make this hole bigger. I'm going to go get some oil though, because this is going to destroy the step bit. Okay, there's a couple things we have left to do. Adjusting the tie rod's pretty much the most of it, but we do have to put these tires on now, and so see how bad the tie rods are out. So let's put the tire on and see how she looks. That's actually not that bad. Sorry about my phone. You know what, there's going to be a little bit of fine tuning per side. Let's just straighten this thing out. That's in the middle. That's really not that bad, to be honest. We're going to fix it a bit and then go from there. So let's work on these tie rods now. We're just going to take a pair of vice grips and I think it's a 21 mil or 13/16 and just start adjusting them and then see how it looks from there. So there you go. We got the tire on, tie rod adjusted. Tire on, tie rod adjusted. This looks mean as shit, boys and girls. I'm super excited for this. I still need to get an axle nut for this side. I'm probably just going to steal it off one of these bastards over here. Maybe even that one. I don't know. Does this door open? I doubt it. Okay, so I quickly gave up on that door because screw that nonsense. So this thing hasn't ran in probably a month. The only problem is getting in and out of this car. There's probably a lot more problems than that, to be honest. Okay. So, fuel pump. Okay. Oh, we still have power, so the battery's a good battery. Alright, hold on, let me turn on the fuel pump constantly. Okay, so it runs, which is good. Oh yes. It'd be nice if we had brakes. Oh buddy, she's going. Where did all the brakes go? I probably broke a brake line. Alright, I pumped them a whole bunch of times. It's probably with that dirty brake fitting. I'm not seeing any fluid on the ground. Do we have any fluid in the reservoir? No, we have no fluid in the reservoir. I'm in neutral right now, so put some brake fluid into it and then try this again. Okay, so we still have no brakes, but on the plus side I'm not seeing any fluid coming out, so that just means they need to be bled. So that's an easy job. I can do that one no problem. 2, I've noticed a whole bunch of stuff broken with it. I've noticed that the motor mount's broken. This one here is sheared right off. Now it looks like it's been broken for a while. And that one down there is broken as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to replace a couple of these motor mounts. Oh, my monster fell over. Now that I know it runs still, I'm going to go over here to this one, and there's a couple things that we have to steal off of it. Number 1 is the seat belt. That's right. You were going to be stolen, my friend. Number 2. Oh, you know what? Those are pretty heavy. I'm just going to leave that. Number 2 is the motor mounts. Make sure they're not broken. Doesn't look like they're broken. Number 3 is I'm going to bring an extra coil pack off of this, and I'm going to steal the temp sensor. So this is my next job, is to get this one and all the parts I need off of it. But that's going to be for another video, because this one's probably pretty long. But guys, thanks for sticking with me. We did a lot of work to this car. We've gone from factory aluminum spindles to Buick Celebrity spindles from 1990, and now we are running W body spindles. So there's lots of things that can be done, and it's not as simple as just a bolt and play. My rules now say I can do spindle swaps as long as they are minor modifications. And honestly, I changed the top hat. That was no drilling, no modification, just putting it on there. Used the original G6 top hats. Tie rods, using the original G6 tie rods, just had to modify the receivers inside the lumina. And then for the bottom ball joint, all I did was pull out the ball joint that sticks up out of the control arm and drill a hole through. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no welding, no modifications, and then the axles were just axles I had off my shelf. I have no idea what they're out of, so please do not ask. I'm not sure. But honestly, this was pretty much a bolt and play. I think this was just as easy, if not easier, than the Celebrity spindles putting into this. But that's 2 different options you guys can put into your newer GM cars. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you back here later on Zach's Workshop.